All right, lesson 4.2, writing equations in point slope form. So you should have written this in your journals already. If not, do it. All right. So writing equations of lines in point slope form. First of all, you can find the slope using our slope equation you see right here. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You guys all have seen that. You understand how to use that, correct? Rise over run. That's how you find our slope. So then you can plug that in. Okay, once you have that, you can write your equation in point slope form here because you can put our slope in, and then you take the point, which you would see they figured this 0.23 right here, and you can plug it in for x and y on the point slope form. So y minus 3 equals 1/2 x minus 2. So they plugged in x and y, and now we have our point slope form. Okay, and then my face is in the way. So you can see here that we have our equation, slope, showing that we have our slope, and then that this point is one of the points that this line passes through. So that's what it's showing you. It's showing you one of the points that that line passes through. So let's practice writing in point slope form. So get your journals, example 1. So we're going to write an equation in point slope form of the line that passes through the point -8, 3 and has a slope of 1/4. Very easy. This is literally just rewriting the equation. So using our equation, where do we plug in our 1/4? Where M is. Bless you. And then where do we plug in the -8? X1. Where x1 is. And where do we plug in the 3? Y1. Where y1 is. Now the one thing you need to recognize is this is a -8, but remember our equation has a minus here. So since it's minus a -8, what does this become? Becomes a positive because a negative times a negative is a positive. So you'll notice that sometimes the sign will be the opposite. So our point slope form can be written y minus 3 equals 1/2 of x plus 8. 1/4. My brain turned off. I apologize. Good. Any questions on that? Pretty simple. You just write it in point slope form, right? All right. I'm going to keep going. All right, so now we're going to write equations of the lines giving 2 points. So we have to find the slope, and then we use one of those 2 points in our point slope form. So example 2 in your journals. So we have 2 points. How do we find the slope? What's
y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2.
Y2 goes first. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Does it really matter which point? No. So let's write it.
This is example 2, right?
Yes. So for our y's, we have -2 minus 2 on top, and then 3 minus 1. So what's -2 minus 2?
-4.
And then 3 minus 1?
2.
So -4 over 2. Can I simplify that?
Yes, and a
-2. -2. So that's my slope. Now I can write in point slope form, correct? Yes, because I have the slope and I just pick one of the points. So we're going to use 1, 2. So where do I plug in the -2?
At M.
At M. It's okay. And then the 1?
At X.
At X1. And then the 2?
At Y1.
At Y1. Okay, and then the very final piece is to distribute this -2. So -2 times x would be -2x. What's -2 times -1?
Positive 2.
+2. Oh, because it wants it in slope-intercept form. I was like, why are we continuing? Because it doesn't want it in point-slope form. So we distributed, and then the last set is to get y by itself. So how do I move this 2? Add 2 to the other side. So 4 plus 2.
Wait.
That's a typo. Oh, it's 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. I was already at the next.
Wait, why would it be? Because isn't it negative 2 plus 2?
Well, we add it to the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have this.
Yeah. So add 2 to this, and then becomes +4. So then your slope-intercept form is y equals negative 2x plus 4. This is where it helps to read, which Miss Cease did not. They wanted it in slope-intercept form, not point-slope.
Okay. So then why did we even have to do?
So you can see that you can do point-slope form and then change it into y-intercept form. That's what a lot of what you're going to be doing in your homework is switching from slope-intercept to point-slope. You're going to either take it from slope-intercept form into point-slope, or you're going to go from point-slope down to intercept form. All right. Okay, example 3. So we're going to write a linear function with the values f of 4 equals negative 2 and f of 8 equals 4. So linear function is f of x. It's just the same thing as slope-intercept form, except we replace the label y with f of x. So what's my first step? Yes, make ordered pairs so that we know our 2 points. So what is a first ordered pair? 4, negative 2, and 8, 4. Very good. 4, negative 2, and 8, 4. Now we can put it in what to solve? We got to find the slope first. So we're going to solve for the slope. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I would do 8 minus a negative 2, or 4 minus a negative 2 over 8 minus 4. 2 negatives make a
Positive.
So 4 plus 2 is
6.
And then 8 minus 4?
4.
So 6 over 4 reduces to 3 halves. Leave it as 3 halves. 1.5 is annoying. 3 halves is better. It's not incorrect. 1.5 is correct. All right, so now that we have our slope, can we write in point slope form?
Yeah.
Yes. So we're going to plug the 3 halves where does 3 halves go? M.
But they're going to put it as 1.5.
They'll put it as 1.5.
But I'm going to do this 3.
I prefer 3 over 2. And then, because think about it, 1.5, you have to convert in your head on how to graph that. 3 over 2, you go up 3 over 2. Done. Fractions are
Will
bad.
they allow that in high school?
They will prefer it in high school. The fractions, they will prefer the fractions in high school. Now, all algebra teachers will say 1.5 is correct. Like, they're not going to mark you off for it. But 3 halves is better for your brain. I promise. All right, so then you plugged in a point. Are we writing this in point slope form? What are we writing this in? Function. So it needs to be in y-intercept form. So we need to distribute. So 1.5 times x, 1.5 times 8, or 3 halves times 8 is negative 12. And then we need to move the 4. So add 4. So negative 12 plus 4 becomes a negative 8. Now the last thing is to put it in function form, which all that is replace the y with what? F of x. So your answer is f of x equals 3 halves x minus 8. If you put 1.5x minus 8, I will not mark it wrong. I might make fun of you. I'll draw a picture pointing at it going, what is this? Any questions on how we did this? Does it make sense?
Yes.
Other than why am I learning this? I understand that.
How does this help me?
Is 4? So isn't 4x like in step 1? It's the ordered pair is 4, comma negative 2.
Correct.
So 4 is x, right?
Yes.
So then why did we put it as y1 in the equation?
Because
This one.
the ordered pair has to be
This one.
Oh, that one.
Yep.
I was looking at it wrong.
That's okay.
Does it matter which one we choose?
As long as whichever one you choose, it's the first one on top and bottom. So like if I chose the point 8, 4 to be the first one, then my 8 and 4 better be here. I can't put a 4 here and then an 8 second. It'll mess it up.
Yeah, because at first I put the -2.
And that would have been fine. You can do -2 minus 4 and then 4 minus 8. You would have got the same answer.
Okay.
Good questions. All right.
Who actually uses this in the job?
Me.
I didn't know what it was, and now I'm a teacher.
You're
I mean,
no
I'm gonna be a
fun.
teacher when I grow up, so I like this.
So part of math, besides some of this you will do in real life, like we're going to see an example here. You're not going to use it every day. I'll tell you that. But part of this, this is a scientific answer. It's creating neurons in your brain that create a pathway in your brain for knowledge, and you remember those things. Now, whenever I stop using math, other information starts using that highway. So the more neuron path highways you can have in your brain, the better.
And my road builders are not.
That's what my dad
Speed is not what it's about. You can have a country back road. We'll get there. That's fine.
I get lectured all the time, 24/7.
So yeah, some of math is just learning how to do it, and then once you get into your life and your career, you may never use it, and that's okay. You still built important things in your brain.
They take the weekends
Also,
off.
my parents,
Yeah.
majored in what is the brain psychology.
Yeah.
Both of my parents majored in it, so I'm only like your brain.
So you're like, I don't want to hear about my brain anymore. All right. The student council is ordering customized foam hands to promote school spirit. The table shows the cost of ordering different numbers of foam hands. Can the situation be modeled by a linear equation? Explain. If possible, write a linear model that represents the cost as a function of the number of foam hands.
Is it ever going to ask you, like, can this situation be modeled by a linear equation, and then it can't?
No,
Yeah, it always
Then
can
why
be.
does it ask?
because it wants you to try.
Unless you
They're gonna have to
remember
put a
how
rule
the
on the answer that
algorithm
says
works.
yes.
It can be modeled.
All right, so the first thing we need to do is find what? What's the first thing we need to do?
Slope.
Slope. So we're going to pick two of these points. Doesn't matter which point. So I would use 70, 10, because that's an easy one to math, and then 434. Sure, why not? Let's see what they use.
Man, none of these divide equally.
Boo, they use the first two. That's fine. So y2 minus y1, 46 minus 34, and then 6 minus 4. They got 6 for the slope. So whatever 46 minus 34, that's 10.
No.
It's 8.
12
Yeah.
divided by 2 is 6. Oh, they're showing each set of pairs.
That's not.
Oh, because we have to find the rate of change.
Well,
Oh,
It's linear.
oh, this is why it's answering if it can be written. Every single one of these has the same rate of change. I would have just looked at the pattern. 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12. That's a pattern. 34. This goes up by 12 each time,
Just look, oh, hey, that looks.
rather than doing this every single time. So yeah, you can just do that. Look at the pattern. If it goes up by the same, then you just find the slope by doing one of them. All right, so now that we have the slope, let's put it in our point slope form. So M is 6, and then they chose 434 as our point. So you're going to put minus 4 and then minus 34. And then distribute 6 times n, and then what's 6 times negative 4?
negative 24.
Very good. And then we got to move the 34. So we do what?
Add 34 to both sides.
Correct. So negative 24 plus 34 gives you a positive 10. And then the last thing is it tells you specifically what it wants the variables to be. Let C be the cost and N be the number of foam hands. So C stands for Y and N stands for X. So if you were plugging this into your computer, you would want to make sure the variables are correct.
Mhm.
All right. So was that we were just making a linear model? Was that all it wanted us to do?
Other than
This is it, checking it.
Oh.
My word, I don't make it. Yeah, it just wanted the linear model. So then C equals 6n plus 10 is your answer.
And they're doing
And that's
This is for people who want to make sure they got the right answer without clicking the check.
Yeah.
it's 6
You wouldn't
hands
go to
plus
six,
an extra $10.
Correct. Yep. So there's a $10. Okay, did you hear, Thompson? That was good recognition there. With this equation, remember the rate of change. So this is how much it costs per foam hand. And the 10 just represents it costs a flat fee of $10.
Shipping and handling.
Right? So shipping and handling is $10, and then every finger you order is $6. That was a weird statement.
Oh, wait, I just realized this is going faster. We are doing monitoring progress right now.
Well, we're still gonna do things. All right, so that's all of the lecture. I'm done teaching. I'm gonna hand you your worksheet.
What was this?